and I've said this before, and I'll say it again here as we now have Survivor Series coming up next. If you're going to bring back the traditional elimination matches and you're going to do Raw versus SmackDown, you just got to give me stakes. It's so, I don't want to say easy, but it makes too much sense to have a Raw versus SmackDown elimination traditional style match, 4-on-4 or 5-on-5, whatever. Brand pride doesn't mean shit. Raw won, we're the best, we're red, whatever. Because if you have, and as we've seen with these traditional Survivor Series matches in recent years, you put baby faces and heels on the same side because they're representing their brand, and it never means a damn thing. All you have to do is put stakes on it. If it's red versus blue, if it's Raw versus SmackDown, you just got to put stakes on it. You just have to say, hey, if you survive, if you're on, whether you could say it's the survivors, you're on the winning team, whatever, they're guaranteed one of the last 10 spots in the Royal Rumble. They're guaranteed the right to be the general manager of Raw or SmackDown for that kind of stuff, which they've done before. They did it in the Austin Bischoff, sheriff, who's the GM, whatever, of Raw, during that time. If you're going to do SmackDown versus Raw, you have to make it mean something. Tell me that the winners are in the Elimination Chamber. Tell me they have a last 10 spot in the Rumble. Tell me they get to pick something. But don't make it about brand supremacy. It's gotta have meaning. When NXT won in 2019, all they did was go out that Tuesday night or Wednesday night, whatever the hell it was, and they went and celebrated it. Everybody out there, we won, we beat Raw and SmackDown, and it didn't mean a damn thing. Didn't matter. Now, here's the other alternative. Scott, you brought up traditional Survivor Series matches. Some of you will know this as longtime fans. Some of you will not know this at all. The Survivor Series was initially just built on all Survivor Series traditional matches, and they would put baby faces up against heels, and you'd have the Heenan family, and you'd have the Hulkamaniacs, or the Ultimate Warriors, or the Teamsters, or whatever the hell, everybody had something. And that's all it was, right? That's all it was. But I wouldn't have a problem if that came back. If you have a month and you want to build, for example, Final Testament and Miz taking on the Wyatt Six, and that is a Survivor Series elimination match, I'd have no problem with that being a reason to have an elimination match. If you want to build LWO against American Made, sure, go for it. If you want to build Nia, Tiffany, find your heels to be paired with them against a babyface group that's, Bailey, Naomi, whatever. Go ahead and do that. And that's just about the feud. That's just about two sides not liking each other. I'm totally fine with that. But if it's red versus blue, you're trying to tell me it's Raw versus SmackDown, there's got to be meaning to who gets the win in that match. And by the way, I think they can do a mix of this stuff. I think you can have War Games, and they will. I think you can have a Raw versus SmackDown match. I think you can have an elimination match that's just about what's going on with the feuds within the shows. I think you can do all those things. And maybe we will have Cody versus, I don't know, Kevin Owens. Maybe we'll have Gunther versus Punk or Gunther versus Damian Priest. We will see. But I agree that it does feel like there's something brewing with all this in Adam Pearce. The other part I would throw in terms of just stakes, The winning side gets the first pick in the draft next year. Throw that in there. Here's the other thing you could do with this. If you're going to tell me Raw versus SmackDown, it's going to have stakes. And the winners get something. The winners get a spot in the chamber or the Rumble, whatever. Why can't, if you're going to do that, and say this is Team Raw and this is Team SmackDown, you're going to put baby faces and heels on the same team. But if you're going to put stakes on it and you want it to matter more, guess what? You have qualifying matches to get on the team. Because, hey, I got to get in that match. I got to be there at the end, so I get a spot in the chamber. I get a spot in the Royal Rumble in the last 10 picks. So now, the next month of television is about getting qualifying matches to get on the team. And then once you set the teams, now you play up what that looks like, what that feud looks like. And not only the red versus blue aspect of it, then you could do, I loved when, Raw showed up at SmackDown and beat up SmackDown or vice versa. The Becky stuff with Ronda. Everybody remembers that. But then you also have, let's say Andrade and Carmelo Hayes both qualify to be on the SmackDown elimination team. Now they have to coexist. And not in a way where that's become a joke. Can they coexist? They get thrown together. No, they have to coexist. And they have to find common ground, because if they win individually, they get something out of it. But they have to work together to get there. So you have that where they have to put aside their differences. It's not about coexisting just for the sake of it, because how often in those can they coexist matches are there any stakes? There's not. Doesn't matter. Whereas this, you could have qualifiers, you could have heels and face on the same side that have issues with each other. They have to put their differences aside, because why? Well, if they get into the Royal Rumble Elimination Chamber, maybe they go to WrestleMania. So all of a sudden you can tie Survivor Series, and you can tie these qualifying matches to get on the Survivor Series teams right now in early November, all the way to next April in WrestleMania. Hey, this is Matt Camp. Thanks for checking out one of our recent clips from the Wrestling Mat. Why is someone so close to The Rock kind of throwing Cody under the bus?
Yeah, a lot of people won't engage with Jim Cornette. I did, just because I have a mark for Jim Cornette.
Please subscribe right now. Hit the like and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. And I think you should listen to your TV partners. Let me tell you about WWE and a little insight. More subscribers means more content. And make sure you follow us on social media at WrestlingMat23 on both Twitter and Instagram.